In the wake of Battlefront II's PR disaster, it seems that Electronic Arts can't stop digging itself a hole. The fact the game was a pay-to-win scheme and is now just a boring, grindy mess of shit is insulting enough, but EA can't stop talking complete and total bollocks. Featured today, what I believe to be a blatant fucking lie on behalf of Electronic Arts regarding why Battlefront 2's loot box system was tied to in-game progression, in-game competitive multiplayer advantages, rather than the cosmetic updates that people tend to find more palatable, like in, say, Overwatch. Their answer? They were worried about Star Wars canon. They didn't want to fuck up Star Wars canon. Of course, in the Star Wars universe, it's a lot more canonical to find improved thermal detonators inside random fucking boxes that you pay for with magical crystals. Do you remember how that stormtrooper in A New Hope said, "These aren't the droids we're looking for"? But before he could say it, he had to unlock the emote in a box? Yeah, we're talking about that kind of canon, EA, you fucking shitehawks. But the bullshit runs even deeper than that when you consider that Battlefield 2015 had unlockable cosmetics. That is why I feel confident calling EA a fucking dishonest snake in the grass. So anyway, let's read the bollocks that they had to say for themselves. Speaking at the Credit Suisse Annual Technology, Media and Telecom Conference, EA's CFO had this to say: "The one thing we're very focused on, and they are extremely focused on, is not violating the canon of Star Wars. It's an amazing brand that's been built over many, many years, and so if you did a bunch of cosmetic things, you might start to violate the canon, right? Darth Vader in white probably doesn't make sense versus in black. Not to mention, you probably don't want Darth Vader in pink. No offense to pink, but I don't think that's right in the canon." Not right in the canon. The canon that has a Clone Wars era Yoda potentially going up against a Force Awakens era Kylo Ren. A canon where you can put Rey on Hoth, Bossk in the Battle of Jakku. And I'm sure canon is at the forefront of DICE's mind when Emperor Palpatine's scurrying about on fucking Endor. Aside from that, fuck you, a pink Darth Vader would be awesome, you twit. Now don't get me wrong, I'm against microtransactions in $60 games completely. Full stop. Many of you will know this by now, I don't care if it's just cosmetic or not. That said, in-game progression being hid behind premium RNG loot box systems is worse than cosmetic items. And Electronic Arts' excuse for deciding to go with progression-led microtransactions is just, it's beyond the pale. I've said before, I make fun of the gaming community for using the word insult far too much. Everything's an insult or a slap in the face. But this excuse really is an insult to everyone's fucking canon. Canon was your issue. We're working with Lucasfilm on that, but coming into it wasn't as easy as if we were building a game around our own IP where it really didn't matter. It matters in Star Wars because Star Wars fans want realism. Well, the cosmetic upgrades that you had in Star Wars Battlefront 2015, which were actually there and cosmetic, were pretty realistic. Twi'lek rebels, some stormtroopers without helmets and facial variations. You had this shit already. But I really love how duplicitous the CFO Blake Jurgensen was by going straight for a pink Darth Vader. Yeah, let's make the most extreme idea possible. Let's put Darth Vader in pink. Let's try and make the idea of cosmetic DLC sound silly. Despite the fact that in 2015, not very fucking long ago, you already did this stuff in a way that was canonical, in a way that didn't have a pink fucking Darth Vader, which I still say would be awesome. You're worried about the canon of Star Wars. No, you're fucking not. There are so many ways to shoot this excuse down, it's laughable, and that's before we get to things like Star Wars Connect. You want to talk about officially licensed products fucking with canon and realism, look no further than this officially licensed product. The really funny thing to me is, when I was playing Battlefront 2, the lack of cosmetic upgrades actually stuck out to me, because I remember them being in 2015. They were the driving force of a lot of rewards. Their absence has been completely felt in Battlefront II, at least to me. And again, none of it was as extreme as a pink Darth Vader, it was slight variations on rank and file troops, which I think you could, of course, take a lot more liberties with. No one's asking for you to fuck around with Darth Vader a whole bunch, but all your friggin' stormtroopers look exactly the same, and it wouldn't harm anyone, fans wouldn't be pissed off if there were options to customise them, outside of some fucking emotes that you're expected to pay for. Out of all the shit EA's pulled out of its arse regarding Battlefront 2, this might be the one I find to be the largest insult to my intelligence. This to me is a bigger piss take than when they said they wanted you to have a sense of pride and accomplishment for unlocking Darth Vader after 40 hours. A Darth Vader that, I should remind you, can fight Yoda. On Naboo! Jurgensen would go on to say that they might come up with some cosmetic things like different coloured lightsabers. No shit, genius, that's one of the easiest go-tos you could come up with. It took you 2 years and the game's release and a massive backlash for you to think that maybe a different coloured lightsaber would be less of a piss take. I don't see you earning your massive paycheck, Jurgensen. And again, I stress personally, I have no respect or no patience for cosmetic upgrades hidden behind microtransactions in premium games. I'm certainly not fucking sticking up for those, but they are undeniably better than progression-led microtransactions, and EA's excuse for choosing the latter over the former is fucking... I mean, it's ridiculous. It's beyond ridiculous. And given what we've seen come of the Star Wars license, given the fact that the Star Wars Battlefront series is itself an exercise in non-canon, given the fact the last Battlefront game did cosmetics just fine, I am 100% calling bullshit on this. It's just not true. What Electronic Arts said was not fucking true. There are just so many things you could do with cosmetics, even beyond just, oh, we'll change the colour of the lightsaber a bit, we'll change the colour of Darth Vader. Dear Electronic Arts employee, play Electronic Arts' games. The last Battlefront you put out might give you a few ideas that aren't just colour swaps. Of course, I realise I'm asking an Electronic Arts executive to both play a game and also be quite inventive. I'd have better luck asking for a pink Darth Vader to become official Star Wars canon, but there's no harm in at least suggesting it.